And there are many from the Attitude Era. And AJ, you are now the Raw general manager. You have competed in the ring, but you were certainly a young lady when the Attitude Era was in full force. Now that you've been announced as a player on this roster, and that was announced, I think, today, what does that mean to you, being a lifelong fan, that you finally made it to this video game?
I literally cried today. Yeah, I'm a DLC, but it's amazing. Like I made myself in like the call mode, it was called at the time, in like all the SmackDown versus Raw. So I'm just kind of a big kid. That's, you know, it's kind of surreal that I'll actually be in it. I don't know, like, you know, like Punk was saying, it's kind of a dream. You know, it's one of the things that you dream of. It's like a checklist, an action figure and a video game. And this is actually my first time for that happening, and everything's kind of happened in 1 year, and it's been mind-blowing.
Thank you. I remember my first time in a video game.
Twin Cells was live.
After I called that Abraham Lincoln Douglas match back in Illinois in 1861 when I was a rookie. I think Abe slipped over. They had a return plan, but the election and John Wilkes Booth interfered. Iron Mike Tyson. Iron Mike, ladies and gentlemen, if for any consumer who pre-orders WWE 13, you'll be able to play the baddest man on the planet in this video game for the very first time in a WWE ring. And Mike, I know that you're obviously known for many things. Nothing more, in my view, than your fighting and your spirit and your warrior mentality with your fists. So what can we expect from Iron Mike Tyson in this video game?
Many wonderful things, man. Well, you know, I don't know, really, when you think about it, being a part of the WWE, especially at a time when I was really an Attitude Era, you know, I just bit Vander's ear, you know, and I joined the program, and Mr. Stone Cold right here, and we broke a lot of records back there. We did a really good job, and I'm just, as I was saying, really, what I'm really trying to convey is gratitude. I'm really awesome being a part of this, and I'm just looking forward to doing more stuff with the WWE. And this is really, like I say, I don't know, the breaking point. Really, a lot of wonderful things, and I just appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Mike brought a lot of attitude to his fights.
Can I say something really quick?
Certainly.
I think it's super cool that Mike Tyson is in this video game, because when I was a kid, I played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out constantly. This is the first guy that actually made a video game for, you know. So for him to be in WWE 13, I think that's like full circle. We get, you know. No, you're not old at all. I'm just the youngest guy that's sitting in the front row right now, that's all. Okay, what's your question?
My next question is, let's go to the Attitude Era and talk about that. Mike brought it up. One of the great elements of WWE 13 is the Attitude Era. There are 8 superstars from the Attitude Era's prominence. The storylines run deep. You can have matches in arenas around the world and all sorts of stipulations. And the audio, the crowd, the feeling, the passion is there. The man that really started that Attitude Era was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And unquestionably, he's the man that's most associated with this Attitude Era. Steve, what do you have? I know it's a vague question, but because there's so many. Is there one significant moment that you can recall on Monday Night Raw in the Attitude Era that you thought that, man, this philosophy is going to work? What we're doing right now is working. Is there one moment? Can you define it in one moment?
Before I talk about that moment, Mike Tyson just referred to me as Stone Cold. Me and Mike did business many years ago, and he called me Cold Stone every single time. Boy, it used to piss me off. Iron Mike just called me Stone Cold. Thank you, Mike. He finally got it right. But you know, really, when you're out there dealing with Mike Tyson and he calls you Cold Stone, what are you gonna do? Last time I checked, the business was at work. Anyway, man, there were so many good times out there during the Attitude Era, and I look forward to going to work every single Monday. And it seems like we were on the road 24/7, 365 anyway, and it was just a blast. And probably when things really started lighting up, when we really started ringing that cash register, Jim, was the first time I hit Vince with that stunner. And I think that's when people said, you know, okay, it's on, you don't know what's going to happen, it's high charged. The Monday Night Wars were soon to follow, and it was just a good day at the office every single time we went out. I knew we were giving the crowds what they wanted by the feedback, and it was just it was a great situation to be in. And it's great that this game comes back around. It's great for me to be a part of it, and goes to show how powerful and how memorable the Attitude Era was. And when we refer to the Attitude Era, it was during my peak years, but I've always considered the business of pro wrestling or sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, to be very attitudinal in general. But maybe it hit its spike or its peak point during the times when myself and many the other 7 current superstars in the Attitude Era game were around.
The next question regarding the Attitude Era, we'll kind of go around the horn here a little bit about memories. Seamus, somebody give Seamus a mic, please. Seamus, you were young. You had not got into the business during the Attitude Era, right? Am I correct in saying that?
That's correct, yeah.
But you watched.
Yeah, I've watched.
So do you remember, or was there a moment that you carry with you that you watched on Raw that you was jaw dropping or just stuck with you for whatever reason? There are a lot of them.
Well, the one thing I really noticed was watching Raw itself was like what really caught my attention was when Bret Hart actually, after he felt he was being screwed over and over again, especially at the time when Shawn Michaels was being involved and Sid and everyone, Undertaker, it started becoming predictable. Obviously, this is someone I'd watched growing up my whole life, and then obviously his attitude, his gears were changing. And the other thing as well was back home in Ireland, it just seemed that like watching my whole life, it seemed to be become really, really cool. All of a sudden, everybody's talking about it. You're walking down the street and there's WWE shirts being worn, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, DX shirts. And I knew from that moment in time that it really was just exploding. Even in a small country like Ireland. But there's been many, many great moments on Raw. We could be here all night talking about them. Obviously, Stone Cold pushing the boundaries and knocking lumps out of Vince McMahon was always very fun for me to watch. But as I said, it really did start to turn the screw. I'm saying when Shawn and Bret were starting to push the boundaries with DX as well. Shawn and DX with Bret Hart.
Reality television, it was storylines, again, that you can use in this video game based in reality and real situations that you can be as creative as you choose. We're going to go down to Dolph here momentarily, so you guys can head that mic that way. It'd be good. The thing about this video game is that, and one of the great things about WWE in that Attitude Era was the fact that we had so much crowd involvement. You can look at some of those old tapes and see how many signs were in the audience and the creativity that fans used. You think about it, now we complain if the drive-thru is a little bit busy. These guys would make signs, use their artistic ability, and bring them from home, bring them all the way to the arena, get them into the arena, and hopefully get on television. If you look at this video game and the footage of this, they have done an amazing job of recreating this audience, where the audience members have facial expressions. They're not zombies, and they have some creative signs. It's really, really real. So Dolph, now you're another young buck that was just in his formative years, back when the Attitude Era was rocking and rolling. Do you have a moment or a individual that you, particularly when they came on, you had to watch, or you were interested in the storyline in particular?
For me, not just because he's here, Stone Cold Steve Austin was my favorite. I mean, just hearing the glass break and the music every single night, somehow that was my favorite part of the night, no matter what he was doing. And even the fireworks starting the show, and I'd have to be home at 8:59 to watch it before it started. And my dad would just go, "Why don't you just tape it and watch the fireworks later?" It's different ones every week, and that always stood out to me. I was in my basement, the volume on high, everyone left me alone for 2 hours, and just, man, Tyson and Austin going face to face, and Vince seeming like he lost control, just like the WWE, they prove every week you don't know what's going to happen. I literally had no idea what was going to happen, and that was such a special moment for me. And the fact that we can start recreating things like that in WWE 13 is really hits home, because you can, the heroes you dreamed watching up, and as you're growing up, you actually get to either create yourself as you're growing up, getting that first game, and I created myself. I took Billy Gunn's trunks and Stone Cold's knee braces, and I made myself, you know, this cool guy, and now you're in the game, and the crowd's in the game, and it gets more real every time, and even just that cover we saw of Punk, it's unreal. It looks real to me, and that's what's cool about wrestling and sports entertainment.